So a couple of quick things I wanted to show you about Gmail. If you are composing a new message, this new message box that pops up is tied to your Gmail tab. So if you wanted to get information off of a different tab, that's maybe too much information to remember all at once and maybe a list of things, you can't really do that unless you're flipping back and forth between the two tabs. So one quick trick to get around that is this little double arrow here. It says full screen, shift for pop out. What pop out means is if I hold down my shift key and click on that, it pops it out into its own new window, and it might not look very different than the full screen, but the difference is I can move this around and it is not tied to this tab. So if I wanted to open a new tab, I can go down here, bring that back to the front, and now I can make this a little bit smaller if I need to, move it over, and if I've got information over here that I need, I don't now have to go back and forth. One quick tip also is when you have this open, if you decide to get rid of it and you close it by using the X button, it is not actually getting rid of that email. It is putting it into your drafts folder. So if you for sure don't need this ever again, you're going to want to use the trash can to completely discard the draft. If it's something that you want to work on later, then you're going to want to use the X because it'll save it in your draft folder and you can continue working on it later. But if you're completely finished with it, use your button right there. The other thing that I wanted to show you was there is a symbol up on your tab up at the top. This little one says how many unread emails you have. So essentially, how many emails have you had that you haven't opened and looked at or marked as unread? And you'll notice I have an extra one right here. That's because I like to pin my tabs, and pinning means that I am forcing that tab to stay open. Even if I close my browser, that tab is going to stay open when I open my browser again. And also I can't accidentally click the close button. And how I do that is if I right click on the tab and I choose pin tab, you'll see it makes it much smaller, and now it's impossible to accidentally close it. And if I were to close this browser and reopen it, these three tabs that are pinned are going to still be there when I open the tab. The student data and the new tab will have gone away, but these three would still be there. But you'll notice that I still have that symbol on mine. There's an extra notification that you can enable so that if you're working and you have a lot of tabs open, you can tell if you have a new email coming in. It's sort of an extra notification that you have an email coming in if this number changes. So the way that you do that, if you want to try the pinning the tab and have that notification, go over to your settings icon, looks like a little gear. You're going to click on that and you're going to click on settings. Wait for that to load. Then you're going to look up at the top and find the advanced category. And then you're going to scroll down until you see where it says unread message icon. Notice mine is the bubble in front of enable is darkened. Yours is going to say disabled, so you're just going to click enable and then go to the bottom. Make sure you save your changes. And then that will give you this little icon that I have as well. Okay, so new message, you can pop it open with the shift key. You can also make it full screen without using the shift key. If you're going to discard it completely, notice this says save and close. Make sure you use this to discard it completely. And then if you want your unread message icon, that's in your settings under advanced.